listen, as far as I'm concerned, though, this week really can't go any better. It's already a pretty big win. It's already been a pretty big win for me. You know, we're all thinking it. We all know what's top of mind.
It's so bullshit. You get another one of these to go your way.
It's not a matter of
you had no good reason to pick the Redskins over the undefeated Steelers, who look like they're just going to the Super Bowl. Like, they look like for sure Super Bowl contenders. And the Washington Redskins are the NFC least, not even winning that division. And yet they pull out this bullshit. Max, I want to know what higher power you have blackmail on that skews these games in your favor. It's atrocious at this point. First the Raiders, and now the Washington Redskins.
Winners win, haters hate. This is just, it's not a matter of a higher power. I just know what I'm talking about. All right, well, welcome to another week of the Winter Forecast, and today we are joined by a special guest, Sandy Campbell, all the way from Stirling, Scotland. Sandy, how does it feel to be the first guest on our show?
Groundbreaking. You know, I'm so touched to be part of this.
Are you nervous?
No.
You don't have to be nervous. Like, it's okay. Are you? It's
No.
It's a big honor.
I know the spotlight's large, the spotlight's heavy, but you're gonna do just fine. You really don't have to worry, okay?
The makeup crew did wonders on you.
I was looking at our standings for this week, and you are still somehow ahead of me.
Let's go.
Let's
go.
It's stupid. It's ridiculous. Twitter is doing terrible. Twitter finally went positive. Twitter's at 31 and 29, so good for them. Before we get into picks, though, I want to talk a little bit about you, Sandy. You are an NFL fan, born in Stirling, Scotland, which I don't know the first thing about where that is. First off, I want to know how you got in the NFL. And second off, why the hell you're a Bengals fan?
So amazing to me.
I got into the NFL through Madden, which I think you'll find a lot of British NFL fans get. You know, they pick it up in a game store and find that they really enjoy it and connect it. So my friend, he went on vacation to Orlando, of course, Disney World. Comes back with a copy, Madden 08, Vince Young on the cover, classic. And I'm over at his house and he's showing me it and we're playing it. And so he actually comes home with a copy of Madden and unfortunately a New England Patriots jersey. But so he comes back and I think he said that he had watched the game when he was over just on TV and really enjoyed it. So we're playing it. And I don't know much about it, but I'm enjoying it. So I go out and try and find any video game, any NFL game to play, to kind of figure out the rules myself and go back and play it with them. And the game that I found was NFL Street 3. Okay. Do you know who was on the cover?
Not off the top of my head.
Not?
I hope it was a football player.
It was Chad Ochocinco.
Okay.
Chad Johnson.
So kind
of. Amazing. Holy
cow.
So
I'm tricked into believing that the Cincinnati Bengals are some hot shit. Yeah, so I mean, the next time I went over, I was like, yeah, I'll take the Bengals. And he's like,
well, they wouldn't put a bad player on the cover.
Well, so this was like, I think it was like 07, 08. Kind of when they were kind of like
Carson
strong.
Palmer.
Carson Palmer was kind of, I wouldn't say at his peak. Because I think he was probably at his peak after he left. But he was like strong. And that offense with like, it was Chad Johnson, T.J. Houshmandzadeh, Palmer, and like Rudy Johnson. And our O-line was good, which, you know, I long for those days. But yeah, like that was it. And next time I went over, I played with the Bengals, and then I started to kind of follow them week in, week out, just checking their scores online and whatever, checking their highlights out, and eventually trying to find their games online on a streaming service or wherever. Now we're here like, how many years later? It's like 12 years.
Too many. Too many years as a Bengals fan.
Unfortunate year.
Yeah, that brings me here.
So we have a couple of questions actually for you, Sandy. I expect an obvious answer here, but one person asks, if you could have any franchise come to Scotland, who would it be?
So the obvious answer would be the Bengals. right? But I don't know. I wouldn't want to move the Bengals out of Cincinnati. I've been to Cincinnati like 3-4 times. It's just like one of my favorite places to go.
Mm.
I would definitely not want to move the Bengals. If I moved any team to Scotland, such a loaded question because it's the talk of like a London franchise, and you've heard players say, I would refuse to play in London. I would refuse to sign a contract.
Let alone Sterling, Scotland.
I guess I would move the Pittsburgh Steelers to Scotland because I do not think most NFL players would want to move to Scotland. Which, I love Scotland, but maybe it's not for everyone. And let's just wipe the Steelers out. Just take all their pride, all their glory, and just, shove it over the Atlantic. And yeah, let's see them struggle for the next 25 years.
As a Bengals fan,
Oh, no.
I think as we get into we're going to be getting up into our picks for the week here.
Oh, no.
Are you ready for our picks of the week? Kicking things off for the week, we're rolling. We're gonna start things strong here with the Cowboys versus the Bengals. Is Andy Dalton playing in this game? Here's my thing: someone has to win the game by definition. This is football. I just don't know who that will be, and not because either team is good. I could see this ending up in like a 3-3 tie. I really just have no.
Okay. I don't know about 3-3, but
you're right. Maybe 2-2.
like 5-5.
Oh, it's gonna be one of those weird scoregami games. I could see that for sure. Some kind of weird, obscure scoreline that this game is only ever gonna get brought up again in one of those like obscure NFL record books that some guy is gonna recite as like a trivia question. It's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be a good time. But my question for you guys is, who's gonna win?
I feel that as a Bengals fan, you have to say the Bengals, but I don't know how much I believe that.
Yeah,
we're in some mess.
I think I might have Dallas in that. Just because Bengals lost Joe Burrow. Yeah. Super unfortunate. It just seems like that at this point to me, they only have 2 wins, right? Mm-hmm. They have 2 wins.
Yep.
Why not just go back into tanking? Just one more year. Wait till Joe Burrow gets healthy. Reassemble that O-line somehow, some way in the offseason. I'm rooting for you guys. I was so excited for Cincinnati to go off this year, but I don't think that they can beat Dallas as of right now without Burrow. It's just going to be – Andy Dalton's going to be like, hey, this is my old team. I'm going to pop off. I have talent. I have 3 great wide receivers with talent. I just think it's going to be I was going to compliment Dallas's O-line ahead of Cincinnati's, but I don't think that's true at all. I think it's very even on the O-line front, but I do have Dallas winning. Not by much, because I don't think there's going to be much scoring going on, but.
Yeah, Sandy, I want to know, how do you feel about facing off against Andy Dalton?
I personally harbor no ill feelings to Andy Dalton like a lot of Bengals fans do. Either a lot of Bengals fans feel as if our playoff runs were Andy Dalton's fault, or they feel that Andy Dalton should have taken a backup role to Joe Burrow. Andy Dalton is probably, statistically, he is the second most successful Bengals quarterback of all time. He also led the Bengals in probably the second most successful era of Bengals football there has been. He led us to back-to-back playoffs, and we just couldn't get it done in the first round of the playoff. I still have an Andy Dalton jersey in my closet. I've got a signed Andy Dalton jersey in my closet. I think he will always be the quarterback of the Bengals to me. Like when he retires, I will think of him as a Bengals quarterback and not a Dallas quarterback or anyone else. I wish him all the best. I hope he finds a starting job somewhere. Obviously, at the moment, he's got it in Dallas, but when Dak comes back, it's not going to be there for him. But
sure.
I definitely think he's capable of of winning games.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I mean, not that was ever on record here, but he's just a guy that you kind of want to root for. And as an Eagles, fan, it's a little tough because he's on the Cowboys, which But Andy, I think I'm going to side with you on this one. I just think Andy actually has some weapons around him, and I think he's going to be playing with the chip on his shoulder. So I think I'm going to be going with the Cowboys as well for this one.
I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I don't think I actually stated that, but I mean, well, you put the pressure on that I'm leading the way with your guests and their picks. So, the responsibility is all on me. You got to take that seriously. I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
Okay. All right. Well, you're pulling an Andy here, right? You're going with safe picks and just copying everything I say.
That is not true. Watch our episode. I dare you. I always go for
moving on to Colts versus Raiders.
Ooh.
Now, this is one that I'm sure, Andy, you have no bias in.
Totally unbiased opinion here. I have the Colts. Colts? Good. People are calling them a Super Bowl contender. I don't even have them going that far. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think that they're going to steal Tennessee's playoff position. Tennessee's going to be the wild card. But people really like the Colts. I really like them too. Not my fault. I don't think the Raiders are going to be able to just contain the Colts. The Colts defense is going to tear the Raiders apart. I think we match up really well. I mean, the Raiders have Darren Waller.
Yeah, hell of a week.
Who else? I don't like Josh Jacobs. He was out last week. He was on my fantasy team. I learned that during the game. He's who else do they have? I mean, I think their quarterback's overrated. I mean, our quarterback's overrated too, but I mean, at least he's 3,000 yards this season. I mean, already.
Is Phillip overrated?
And people, I mean, he's going to go in the Hall of Fame. That's the thing. Phillip Rivers is going to go to the Hall of Fame for what?
For having too many children, probably.
Maybe.
Probably. Yeah.
But the Colts are going to win this game because they win all the matchups. Our defense is just spectacular. We can get by on offense.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, listen, I like the Raiders. I like what Gruden's doing over there. But the Raiders are on a skid right now as a team. And they are one Greg Williams decision away from losing to the New York Jets. So that does not give me confidence. I think the Colts win this one. I don't think it's close. And if the Colts don't win this one, then I don't care what they've done going into this game. I think they need to check themselves and have a serious conversation about where their blind spots are if they want to make a run in the playoffs, because they have no business losing to the Raiders this weekend.
I'm going to go with the Raiders partially because I work with all Colts fans, and there is nothing that drives me crazier than them talking about Super Bowls and you're not getting to the Super Bowl.
We're not.
Phillip Rivers is going to get you so far and then drop. Your defense is your strongest point. It is all injury dependent. Who do you have healthy?
Yeah.
And yeah, I personally would like to see the Colts lose. So as much as I said, I'm taking this responsibility as your first guest seriously. Yeah, that's one I can't let slide. Raiders all the way.
Heading into our next one, we got the Browns versus the Ravens. Now, this one comes with the same caveat as the Cowboys versus Bengals game, because we don't really know this is being recorded on a Tuesday. So we don't know what's going to happen in the next couple hours between the Cowboys and Ravens. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, regardless of who wins this game tonight, even if the Ravens pull it out, which I'm starting to doubt that they will actually, the Ravens are not going to look good. I think they're going to be struggling, and the Browns are looking hot. They are looking good right now. I have never eaten my words so much more than I did this past week. I will admit that. It comes with the territory. You win some, you lose some. And I have responded and listened to my critics, and I understand that if I'm going to tout the fact that I'm a genius who picks Washington over Pittsburgh, I need to be candid and honest when I say that Tanny has swagger and that the Titans can beat the Browns, because evidently they could not. I am a believer in the Browns. Finally. There you go.
As you should be. As you should be. I think the Browns are going to win this game as well. I don't think the Ravens have really shown up this season. Once again, this was filmed on Tuesday, so we don't know the outcome of the Dallas Cowboys game against them. But even without that game, they haven't shown up to a single game and just blown me away with their talent, which is really disappointing because last season it was just like, who's going to stop them? Who's going to stop them? And this season, it's like, okay, well, this seems kind of mediocre, but, we can kind of see them pulling it out against the Ravens, which just shouldn't be the case. So I think Lamar Jackson is just having a horrible season compared to last season because that wasn't consistent. You weren't able to hold that. But the fall off we've seen is just really eye-opening to see how exposed that team could have been last year if we learned how to deal with Lamar sooner. So I think we've kind of figured out Lamar, and I think the Dallas Cowboys I think that the Browns are going to pull this off just because they burn hot. They have talent all around, and you can't say that with the Ravens right now.
What's the health status of Lamar Jackson? Is he back? The Bengals have played the Ravens once, the Browns twice. And from the Browns, what I think is remarkable is the running game is excellent. But both times against the Browns, those games have been close. I worry that their defense isn't able to hold out, whereas I think the Ravens' defense is reasonably solid. I think the Ravens' defense can hold out. I would say I'm going to go with the Ravens because I think that defense is solid enough to let them win. I think Lamar Jackson's definitely having a down year, but I think he's able to do enough to let them win.
Yeah, what's on my mind is that even if he's playing, he's still recovering from COVID. And surely, it's a crapshoot. You don't know how it's going to affect anyone.
Yeah.
But the closest, I guess, comparison we have to this guy, maybe this isn't fair. This very much isn't fair, but I'm going to do it anyway, is Cam Newton, all right? Cam Newton's a dual threat quarterback, not nearly with the same arm as he once had. But, even though Cam seems to have gotten some of his swagger back now, it took him a while to recover after having COVID. I mean, he did not play well. And, it was like night and day. And so we have to wonder, are we going to see the same drop-off out of Lamar? And I don't know. It'll surely be interesting. So here are our quick picks for the week, and it's just looking like it's going to be another great opportunity for me to take the lead. It's going to happen.
I say that every week, but it just hasn't happened yet, which is I'm a little confused about.
No, listen, I'm keeping people on their toes. I'm keeping butts in seats. All right, this is all a marketing ploy. All right, I'm only keeping
people have already left your seats because they know how this is going to end.
With me on top?
No, obviously not. I mean, look at the track record here.
All right. Well, guys, it's time to play. Now, Sandy, I don't know if you're familiar with this. I don't know if you're familiar with this segment.
I'm familiar.
It's time for just another classic segment. It's a winter forecast favorite here. It is time this week to ask, is Adam Gase fired? Andy?
No, he is not fired somehow.
Don't get it.
I don't get it. To be fair, the defensive coordinator, Greg Marshall, deserved to get fired after that play. And not Adam Gase. That was not Adam Gase's fault for once. I mean, sure, he's head coach and probably could have had power over that. But Greg Marshall, what the hell? What's that? That was so bad. Or Greg Williams, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, he ran, cover zero? He ran cover zero on basically a Hail Mary situation.
It's a ballsy move,
I don't think he should get here's my thing. Here's why I don't think he should get as much heat as he's getting. People are treating this like it was a Hail Mary situation. And it was and he was going for a sack when all he needed was to stop them. They were only down by 1. So they could have, if they get into field goal range, it's game over. So I understand that he was trying to big balls it and get the sack and take him out. Still a dumb move. And I fucking hate Greg Williams. He's a piece of shit. So it's fine. But Jesus, I mean, this only solidifies the fact. It only makes clear Adam Gase is not leaving this season.
No, he can't. At this point, he can't.
I don't know if he'll be gone next.
Oh, surely he would.
Surely he's the first one gone Black Monday, surely.
But what I really didn't expect was Adam Gase to not only outlast Matt Patricia, outlast Greg Williams, but he outlasted Carson Wentz.
Which is insane. Which is
Barely.
insane to me.
Barely.
Yeah.
Barely. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean,
that's sad. It's an end of an era.
Until Jalen Hurts sucks and
Carson Wentz goes back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if any of you guys saw this Doug Peterson press conference. Not that coaches are known for their messaging with the media, right? You know, they often provide non-answers, and I understand that's their job. But Doug Peterson, I have never seen a coach, let alone this coach. I've never seen any coach be so unprepared for obvious questions from the media. They were asking him on Monday, all right, well, what's going into your decision making for this week at quarterback? And, he understandably said, that's going to be a decision that I make on my own. I'm not going to really share that. And that's just, I'm just going to keep that to myself. Like, all right, whatever. All right, sure. All right. Then they ask, okay, well, all right, you don't have to tell us that, but, regardless of who is the starter, what are you looking to see out of your quarterbacks this week in practice? And he goes, yeah, well, it's a team sport. Our guys are injured, and we'll take all that into consideration. We've got a lot of injuries, and it's a team sport. So,
top answer.
I get if you don't want to answer a question, but at least have something to distract them with.
Yeah.
Have something, a key message. For about 5 minutes, football was fun again in that Eagles-Packers game. And I guess that's all that really matters, right? Is Jalen Hurts going to make football fun again? I don't know. Probably not. It's probably going to be terrible. Everybody's feeling bad for Carson Wentz right now. Here's it. The dude has a $34.6 million cap hit next year.
Yeah. Yeah, he is fine.
He's making hella money doing nothing, all right? He gets to do what he wants to do, which is go hunting, play with his dogs, play with his wife, fawn over his new baby. All right, this asshole has decided that he basically cares more about his family than football. And you know what? Now you get to do it. All right, now you get to enjoy your perfect little family and post about hunting with your dogs. And we're not bitter at all. You just enjoy your life. It's fine. I'm not mad.
Can I pose a question?
Mm-hmm.
Would you, if you knew back
Oh, no.
in...
Oh, no.
When did the Eagles win a Super Bowl? 2017? 2018? 2017?
Yeah.
If you knew this was the state that the Eagles would be in a mere 3 seasons later, would you trade that in for playoff bursts for your Super Bowl, or
Oh, never. Ever.
Never?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely no.
So
no.
But see if this goes on for another 25 years.
Jesus. This bad for another 20.
Okay, well, let's say the course of the Bengals since they've last been to the Super Bowl in 1988, where they've had the 90s was just like a write-off, the 2000s was up and down, the 2010s was mostly good, but no playoff success.
No, I'm doing what Doug Peterson wouldn't do 2 weeks ago. I'm taking the points. Okay. If I can get a Super Bowl out of this, I don't care. If I have a guaranteed Super Bowl, I'm taking the guaranteed Super Bowl. I don't care if we're the Cincinnati Bengals for the next 10 years. I mean, I do care, but
you do care.
Still Super Bowl.
Scoreboard for that one season.
Yeah.
Well, my sympathy is limited.
Fair, as it should be. I thought you were going to ask me if I would have kept Nick Foles. Now, I still
that's loaded.
I still wouldn't have done that because I don't think having Nick Foles would have changed any problem we have with our team.
Carson Wentz was on an MVP season that year. You know?
And I would rather have Carson Wentz suck it up on our team than keep Nick Foles to suck on our team and watch Carson Wentz thrive in Indianapolis. So yeah, I'll let him be our little disaster project. We'll let him write on the walls, set a few things on fire. That's fine. He's our little monster, and that's fine. He can't hurt us as long as he's on our team. Well, actually, I take that back. He's hurt us a lot.
Well,
You know what can't hurt me, though? College football. College football can't hurt me. Did you guys see this game between BYU and Coastal Carolina?
Yeah,
I wish I
I
did.
saw.
I wish I did. Because, I mean, what a matchup. Mormons versus mullets. What a better
It was
combo. I mean,
I know.
craziness.
It was
I can't believe I missed that game. I'm upset I missed that game.
I feel as if it should be a yearly rivalry from now on.
Yeah, actually, though. Actually.
Yeah, it is so. It's like the antithesis of what we expect out of rivalry games nowadays, right? Because I feel like so often we see these played up rivalry games that are now. I'm not talking about like Ohio State, Michigan. I'm not talking about Auburn versus Bama, but I'm talking about like Florida versus Georgia, or Virginia Tech versus UVA. Yes, I get that there's bad blood because there's supposed to be bad blood, but you get into the game and there's no substance behind it. It's just there for the sake of being there. This was a game that was their hype, sure, but what do what do a bunch of missionaries from Utah have to do with a bunch of guys that are still on like a 5-day bender in South Carolina? There's no relationship there. And it was the most fireworks I've seen in a football game.
It was insane. The highlights were amazing.
Incredible game. And then you have the fireworks of fighting throughout the game on top of it. I mean, I never in my life imagined to care so much about watching a Sun Belt team lose. And they didn't. It got me thinking, though. And first off, all the props to BYU for coming out and playing this game. I mean, traveling across the country.
Oh, yeah.
Ass is kicked, and that sucks. But, I mean, and you feel bad because, I mean, they're Mormon. So it's not even like you can say, hey, you're coming to not like these guys are going to Myrtle Beach and they can party it up, right? They're Mormon. Like, they're not drinking, So they really just ended up going to South Carolina, and it's just not great. Well, so that got me thinking, though. All right, and I have a would you rather for you guys. All right. Would you rather you get a knock on the door and it is a Latter-day Saint from BYU trying to strike up a conversation with you, all right, that just will not leave, no matter how polite you try to get them to leave, or have it be a Coastal Carolina frat boy with the full-on mullet on a 5-day bender who also won't leave?
Latter-day Saint. Every day of the week. Every day of the week.
Yeah, I'm thinking the frat boy. I mean, I'm just used to dealing with that, so.
Oh, okay.
Well, so frats to me aren't like a real thing. It's a thing it's a thing you see in movies and TV shows, and it's not a real thing to me. Mormons, I know Mormons, and they're just ridiculously nice people.
Mm-hmm.
Frat boys, I'm not convinced are.
The frat boy's gonna pass out in your kitchen, and
I don't know. We should probably cut this, but we had a Mormon missionary when back in Scotland we moved from a house into an apartment. We had 2 Mormon missionaries come and paint my bedroom because we knew whatever church that they were assigned to on their mission, we knew a member of the congregation. So they just came and painted my bedroom because they were told to. And I was like, hey, less work for me.
You know what's the Coastal Carolina guy doing that? You tell me, what happens if you told that Coastal Carolina guy to paint your bedroom?
Who knows what would happen?
You're gonna
probably just throw up on the wall.
He's gonna be
the paint.
He's gonna have made friends with your pet dog that you didn't have before you brought him over. You're gonna have a pet dog now. But it's not gonna be like a good dog. It's angry, not good. The worst thing that's gonna happen when you bring the Mormon guy over is he's gonna steal your milk. That's. Yeah. All right. Well, then my last one here. Would you rather spend a weekend in Provo, Utah in the dead of the summer, but there's nothing to do, and you're just surrounded by churches, or spend a weekend in Myrtle Beach in February.
Myrtle Beach in February.
Oh, so I'm going to say the opposite. Provo, Utah. Absolutely.
So what you're thinking about Provo, Utah?
So, one, it's going to be warmer. Two, I know that they have a hit show on YouTube called Provo's Most Eligible, which is actually the Mormon version of The Bachelorette / Bachelor, but on YouTube. It's all free online, actually. And I have watched both seasons that are out, and there's a third that would have came out if not for COVID, and it's really good. I love the show. So if anything, I would just go over to that country club and just chill with all of those people, because it's actually a really pretty area.
Well,
It's an amazing, amazing area, amazing show, by the way. Do not fault me. Look up Provo's Most Eligible on YouTube. I swear. The host is amazing. Like, it's just it's so awkward, so cringy. It's not a great show unless you want to cringe. Like, it's really bad. It's a bunch of Mormons dating. Like, they can't drink. They can't go out like to like clubs and stuff. Like, it's just like, oh, here's sparkling grape juice.
This show sounds like Myrtle Beach in February. It's, like you're getting something, like you're watching it, like you're there. It's not a great show. You're not happy to be there. But, there's nothing else on. What else are you going to do? You're going to drink, and you're going to throw trash at seagulls. That's what you have to do in Myrtle Beach in February. That's what the locals do.
So I have a friend who, he now lives in Provo. He's from Scotland, Stirling, same as myself. And yeah, he posts these photos all the time of, this great like scenery and wherever else. But where are the bars? Where's the alcohol?
Okay.
Like, what are you doing in Provo?
I order it. I mail it in. I have an Amazon drone just like kind of fly in and just bring it in.
Sandy, have you ever considered moving to Myrtle Beach? Just curious.
I don't know. I lived in Florida for a year, and I think that's similar-ish.
That's like, yeah.
I feel as if I got that culture, and that was maybe too much for me. I moved north.
That's it for the winter forecast this week, folks. Thank you so much to Sandy Campbell for paving the way for all our future guests. Hopefully you didn't dig too much of a hole for them, but we'll see. And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.